Good afternoon, Year 9. Welcome back after the weekend. Don't know what our new lockdown situation is now. Obviously, school hasn't changed, but Mr. Boris Johnson said he might be changing something over the weekend. But I recorded this on Thursday, so I don't know. Anyway, you're going to be doing some creative writing today, based on your experiences in the lockdown. The reason for that is that the second half of paper 2, as I've said a few times now, is entirely creative writing. But before we get on to the parameters of that, I want you to do this do now. Of Mice and Men is the book you're looking at in the in your assessment at the end of Year 9 for you. And I want you to write a blurb for the back of Mice and Men. If you don't know what that is, it's when you go into a bookshop and you pick up a book and you consider buying it. The first thing people do is look on the back cover, and there's a sort of a blurb, it's called, like, as you can see in the picture there. That one's for Harry Potter. But they're quite tricky things to write, because you have to put across what's exciting and interesting about the book, and also at the same time not give anything away that would spoil it. So you kind of have to have the main characters and a hint of the sort of you've got to get across the tone of the book, but without giving anything away. So there we are. Look, I've given you an example there, and I'll give you 10 minutes to write your own, and then go on to the next slide. Our learning objective today is to react creatively in response to a GCSE question, and the title is Writing Descriptively and Narratively. And this is how it looks on the GCSE. This is one I've composed, but this is exactly how they look. This is the second half of paper 2, and the second half of paper 1 looks much the same. So section B, writing imaginatively and creatively. Choose one of the following writing tasks. So you don't do both, you just do one of them. You're advised to spend 1 hour on this section. In this section, you'll be assessed on the quality of your extended response. These questions are marked with an asterisk. You are advised to plan and check your work carefully. Now you get the choice. One of them is a narrative piece, that is a story, and the other is a descriptive piece, that is a description. Now personally, I always err on the side of a story, because I think it's a human impulse once you start writing to start telling a story. But some of you may feel differently and think that you can do this description. The descriptive piece is a sketch with words, really. It doesn't have to tell a story. In fact, it shouldn't tell a story. It's simply a sketch with words. So you can see the narrative one is The Day Lockdown Ended. Use this as the title for a story. In your writing, you should choose a clear viewpoint, describe the setting and the characters involved, explore how the events of the day lockdown ended affected the characters' feelings, or describe what effects the lockdown has had on you. You could write about how the lockdown appears to you or appeared to you, things you said and did in lockdown, and the impact lockdown had on you overall. So there you are. The first one's narrative, the second one's descriptive. So you need to get that question into your books. Now obviously you don't necessarily want to write all that out, so pick at this stage whether you want to do description or narrative, and write that question into your books. I'll give you 8 minutes to do that. Now this slide is broadly taken from the OCR, who are the exam board that you'll be doing your English with, the advice they give to people doing their exam. It's not a mark scheme, obviously. I won't give you that at this stage. It's a bit early for that. You'll start getting those next year, but this is broadly what they're looking for. So show confidence and a sense of humour, if it's appropriate, obviously, but be confident, enjoy your writing. That always comes across when people are enjoying it. It's difficult to, I appreciate, and we all appreciate in an exam situation, but try and immerse yourself in it and enjoy it, because it really shows if you do. Make sure you use advanced and accurate punctuation. Vocabulary choices and sentence structures used for effect are highly rewarded. So if your sentences are short, to create tension, or long, to create a sort of more calm feel, that is all rewarded. Now this is key. Ensure you are writing for the correct form, purpose and audience. So if you've chosen to write a story, write a story. If you've chosen to do a description, do a description. Don't jumble them up. So that feeds straight into the next piece of advice. Select the question carefully. There's a choice of two. If you choose to tell the story, which most people do, to be honest, you don't have to, but most people do, not being able to finish is okay. Don't rush to have an ending just because you've got 10 minutes left, because it will ruin it. But that being said, you should plan it sufficiently so that you do get to the ending with plenty of time. And consider an ambiguous ending for effect. That's always good, when no one really knows for sure what happened. Anyway, there you are. That's the advice. Enjoy that. Really looking forward to reading these, and I will speak to you and see you all very soon. I hope. Good night.